Science is the great antidote to the poison of enthusiasm and superstition. So over here, I am welcoming Dr. A.K. Srivastava, Principal Scientist, ICAR, Central Citrus Research Institute, Nagpur, India. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Welcome.
The Center of Excellence in Life Sciences or CELS is organizing All India Article Writing Competition. And CELS serves the worldwide academic communities and contributes to the progress and application of science by delivering superior scientific publications and scientific information solution providers that enable advancement in scientific research. Now, over here, my first question is how article writing competition can be favorable for the life sciences domain.
Thank you. That's a very good question, I tell you. And let me accept this that the Center for Excellence in Life Sciences, they have taken a very good initiative, to launch a scientific writing campaign on a worldwide scale, and they've chosen a very right topic, connecting biotechnology with the plant science and the animal science. Perhaps this is one of the very few opportunities that our new entrepreneurs, researchers would be having an opportunity to interact on a worldwide platform and then display their talent in scientific writing, which is by no way a simple exercise, I tell you.
Yes. So, why should students participate in such competitions and what all benefits do they get from this competition?
I think there's a conspicuous gap in that context that students, especially those who are immediately passing through post graduation and PhD, they hardly get any exposure of scientific writing, which is by no way, as I said, it's so simple to write a scientific manuscript because writing a scientific manuscript in a language which is
Yes.
friendly compared to the way we talk with each other, it's quite different. In a scientific writing, you really can't use the flowering language, too much of satiric language. You can't use too much of adjectives and adverbs. You can't use. Scientific writing is a very elegant form of writing. It's an art
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
uh, and that art comes through the exposure, and exposure comes how precisely you have been active in a national and international platform. So I think the Center for Excellence has taken a very good initiative, and this initiative is such that students would be really pampered to participate in a large number, and they will be able to get some inroads into the subject because the plant sciences, animal sciences, and biotechnology. These are the three very premier branches of life sciences.
Yes.
And, and an opportunity such as this, probably the student would also be exposed. What are those major breakthroughs that have taken place globally and where they stand, maybe to which country, to which state they belong, and they can really relate that where do we stand exactly and what are those needs to really undertake those researches in order to come up to those international standards. So these are the opportunities those students would get, and this is a very good initiative, as I said earlier.
Yes. So,
So
what is the present day prerequisite for students and professionals to go forward in the life sciences domain?
yes, that's again a very good question. I tell you, life sciences. Why students should prefer life sciences compared to any other sciences? Because
Yes.
in life sciences you have a distinct advantage that uh, whatever products you are developing, whatever metabolites you are studying, whatever those stimulus response you are studying, it's a life science. Life science means you are dealing with something live organism. So that
Absolutely.
live organism would be able to display that response, and immediately you will be in a position to catch it up. It is your smartness that how precisely you catch it up at the cellular level, catch it up at the subcellular level, catch it up at tissue level, catch it at the whole plant level, or the or even the metabolic functions level, or in terms of the economic returns, or in terms of production stability. There's so many, the parameters that you can really judge the response in response of the breakthrough in life sciences. That's the very plus point compared to the earth sciences. Let's compare the precision of earth sciences versus life sciences. There is always a precision associated with the life sciences compared to the earth sciences. For example, COVID-19 vaccine that you have developed, and you feel that I am resistant against COVID-19. So there is certain parameter that you can really judge. But in a earth sciences, there is no parameter at all. And the secondly, the life sciences are very dynamic science. Every day you will find some other kind of breakthrough that are taking place either at the regional level
Exactly.
or at the international level, and that's the biggest task of a student also, whether post graduation, the PhD, even the upcoming assistant professors, associate professors. To that an extent, they have to keep in touch with what breakthroughs which are taking place internationally, which is no way a simple exercise, because in order to be a good academician, you'll have to develop your own expertise in order to have that pace going in research in the life sciences. And life sciences, as I said, that the best breakthroughs have come in life sciences, whether it is plant sciences or animal sciences, the biotechnology. Biotechnology these days, it's such a upcoming field that you would find every answer through biotechnology, regardless of the branch of the sciences.
Yes.
That is magnanimity of biotechnology these days. And let me compliment the Center of Excellence for taking up such a theme areas, connecting biotechnology with the animal sciences and the plant sciences.
Exactly. So, how to research and research based publications in the life sciences domain can be upgraded using Cells-like platform.
That's true. These days the various kinds of social media, the various kinds of search engines in sciences. I'm using the word sciences regardless of life sciences or the natural resource sciences or the earth sciences. Within no time you can become an expert. But very often we keep calling Google search engine something like a Google University, but that's not a university. And sometimes it really baffles me that suddenly you just put a keyword on the Google, and you suddenly find lots of information coming up, and then sometimes there are certain false information, certain unvalidated information already loaded on Google. So for a student also, and to those academicians also, they have to be well guarded of that. What kind of information is really precisely connecting with their need? And then these days, scientific writing is something taken very lightly, honestly speaking, because you go to the Google and just read some few papers, take some 2 3 lines from each of the papers, and suddenly you come out with a very well composed introduction. But once you put it into plagiarism, you will be easily caught. So that's not the simple exercise. These days, every word that you use in a publication, and that publication is peer reviewed and published, it
Yes.
becomes digitized. And whenever you put it to the software of plagiarism, within no time you are caught up, and the journal editor could make it out that the source from where you have taken that material, and eventually it's not good either for the student or for the researchers belonging to that organization, a good sign. And then eventually you carry a bad name not only for yourself but for the organization for which you are serving. So that's a very challenging task these days. Rather than when we started our career some 30 years back, things were little easier. Whatever you take down, whatever you write, whether you're writing thesis or writing publication, uh, you can't really make out the source from which it has been taken. Even the whole thesis could be easily copied without getting caught. So those were the benefits of those are the benefits in those days. But now with these artificial intelligence, the various kinds of softwares, things have
Absolutely.
gone. very complicated. It's not that easy for any student really to organize a very good manuscript. And then these days, the peer reviewship itself is a very tough these days. A reviewer for any good international journal having high impact factor, they always look for some novelty. They always ask you the highlights of your program, how your program is different than what is published in the past, what are those gaps, all sorts of information, which is by no way it's a simple exercise. And these days, lots of creativity like graphical representation of your abstract, the graphical representation of your entire results and conclusion. I mean, you just imagine it's another form of creativity. So these days, the research and publishing and and these days the other side of the coin is that these days publishing in a good journal is something like a salesmanship. You should be smart enough to sell your science. You should be smart enough to convince the other people. These days, with the introduction of online conferencing, these days things have become pretty easy. You can convince large
Yes.
masses within no time, provided that oratory skill that you have, and provided that depth on the science you have, you can really make inroads within no time. These days, another plus point is that your name is introduced before you are physically introduced to anyone. That's the another advantage.
Yes.
I'm sitting in I'm sitting in Nagpur, and once I get my any publication published in international journal, I'm introduced worldwide, even sitting in a corner of a room. So that's the advantage of media these days, electronic media, print, not print media exact. Print also is there, of course. Many of the journals they are bringing out offline
Exactly.
journals. So
Exactly.
these are the advantages of publication these days. And publication, once you are a good salesman and you are good in packaging your science, that is another very important. How good you are packaging your science, how good you are packaging your science in line with the requirement of the national and international demand, in line with the end user. The same science can be packed in different packages depending upon the clientele. If your clientele is a farmer, you will package differently. If your clientele is a researcher, you will the same science you will package differently. If your clientele is an international journal having high impact factor, again you will pack it in a different mode. So that's your smartness. And these days, the science has gone to that level where these things are both the ways, provided you are really dedicated. And these days, science is not a just 7 hours, 8 hours job. It is something like a 24-hour job. And more you put yourself, more successful you are. And then the another facet of science is that whatever you do in science, you are the first beneficiary. Nobody else can take the benefit of your own research, invention, innovation. That's the biggest advantage with the science, be it life sciences or be it earth sciences.
Yes. So, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your kind words. It was nice talking to you. And
Thank you. It's a pleasure
thanks a
talking.
lot. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.